Yeah. Okay, says the Mechaber, Simon Reish Vav Sif Beis. Hoyu lefonov pri ha'adama or pri ha'etz. A person has in front of him two different types of fruit or vegetable. He has, for example, an apple and he has a banana, right? Ubeirach al pri ha'adama, and he makes a bracha of beri pri ha'adama. V'nischav and lifta is pri ha'etz, and he has in mind that he's also going to be motzi. For the pri ha'etz yotza. So he's got an apple, which is a beri pri ha'etz, and he's got a banana, which is a beri pri ha'adama. And what he should do is to make a beri pri ha'etz and a beri pri ha'adama, but he doesn't. He takes the beri pri ha'adama. He makes the beri pri ha'adama. So his yotze, he's now, and he has in mind to lift his pri ha'etz, to cover the pri ha'etz. He shouldn't have done that. He should make separate brachas. Yotza, it works. He doesn't have to make another bracha. Says the Mishnah Berurah Siv Cotton Zayin. Dafka di'evid. Now this is only b'di'evid. What should he have done? He shouldn't have made the hadama to be moitzi the pri ha'etz. The tov yosel levarich bracha miyuchedes la. He should have made a beri pri ha'etz on the apple and a beri pri ha'adama on the banana. But b'di'evid, if he made a beri pri ha'adama with in mind to cover the ha'etz, then he is yotze. There are different days about that, and Mishra will get there. Now, lefonov. Nokat lefonov. It says that hoyu lefonov pri ha'adama and pri ha'etz. He had in front of him. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Ches. Nokat lefonov the revusa. That's a chiddush. Da'afilu hoyu lefonov pri ha'etz k'shebeirach loy nifta memele elim kein niskaven behedge lifter. So imagine you're sitting down today, right, and you've got an apple and a banana. And you make a beri pri ha'adama on the banana, you just take it. Then that doesn't automatically cover the beri pri ha'etz. You've got to have in mind that you wanted, for whatever reason, you shouldn't have done it, but you have in mind that this is going to cover the beri pri ha'etz. But if you didn't have that in mind, and you just have a banana there, and you make a beri pri ha'adama, that doesn't automatically cover the b'di'eved, the apple that is in front of you. So therefore he's saying that the word lefonov is l'revusa, is surplus. It's telling me, not surplus, it's telling me an extra chiddush. Da'afilu hoyu lefonov, even if it's in front of me, praise k'sheberach lo nifta memela, it's not automatically covered. Elim kein nischaven behedge lifta, until he specifically had that in mind. Avol be'emes, let me just finish, and then I'll say, avol heichad nischaven behedge lepotre, but if I specifically had that apple in mind, afilu hoyu lefonov praise k'sheberach, even if it wasn't in front of me, then it would work. So in other words, I've got an apple and a banana. What should I do? Make a beri pri ha'etz on the apple, make a beri pri ha'adama on the banana. But for some reason, I wanted to get two for the price of one, and I made a beri pri ha'adama with the intention of covering not only the banana, but even the apple. Says al-Mechaber that it works. B'di'evet. You shouldn't have done it, but it works. It says you've got the apple and the banana in front of you. Says the Mishnah Berurah, that's the revusa. That's like an extra chiddush. Because the truth is, even if the apple was inside in the other room, and I'm making the bracha on the banana, and I think to myself, you know what, I'm having an apple, I'll be motzi myself for the apple as well, and I have in mind the banana and the apple. Even if it's not lefonov, that would work. So the chiddush is that even though the apple is mamash in front of me when I'm making the beri pri ha'adama, I still have to make another bracha of beri pri ha'etz on the apple, because the beri pri ha'adama is only going to cover the banana, unless I have specifically in mind that it's going to cover the apple itself.
If it's the other way around, if it's beri pri ha'etz and you've got beri pri ha'adama,
then there's nothing to discuss.
You have to make on both.
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing that. It's dafka this way around. It's dafka this way around, where I'm making a beri pri ha'adama, where I intend to cover the beri pri ha'etz, that it works, because l'maisa b'di'eved, if you make a beri pri ha'adama on a beri pri ha'etz, it works. That's what we said yesterday. Yeah. Okay. So really, what one needs to do is make separate brachas. Pri ha'adama, pri ha'etz, v'chein, and it's not only for these two combinations. Says in Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Ches, im hoyu lefonov dava sheberchoso shehakol, v'dava sheberchoso pri ha'adama. So for example, you're sitting and you're having some lunch today, and let's say you've got a plate with some tuna, and you've got some salad, and it's not mixed together, it's separate, and you, for some reason, you shouldn't have done it again. You should make a hadama on the salad. let's say you've got lettuce and cucumber and tomato, and then you've got the tuna, you make a shahakal. That's what you should do, 2 separate brachas. But for some reason you say, you know what, the tuna's a shahakal, that will cover everything. So b'di'evet it works, because shahakal b'di'evet works on other things. So you shouldn't have done it, but yotza b'di'evet. Okay, so says the Mechaber Yotza, says Mishbar Yud, V'ayim b'sharit shuva d'yesh cholkin al zeh v'sfir lehu, shafil nischav and niftes pru'eitz, hamunuch lefonav lo yotza. There are some that say that this just doesn't work. V'tzorich lachsa v'levarich b'pru'eitz, and therefore you need to make a new b'pru'eitz. V'brichas b'pru'adoma lo hoysu levatola, then iskayma pru'adoma levad, because it worked for the banana. And we call mokkam masik with the b'di'eved ein lachsa v'arich. But in the Maisa we conclude that you do not make a new bracha in that situation. U'chadas ha-shulchan aruch, we therefore pasken like this shulchan aruch, to sovik brachas lahakel, v'yos tov v'yos nimlach, you could sort of hold off and say, you know what, I'm not going to have my apple till later. You have to wait till later, then you make a new bracha on the apple. Okay, everyone happy with that? Yeah, okay, good.
13 is very interesting.
What's 13?
V'chein
anovim. Yeah, this is true with the grapes as well. Yeah, interesting. V'chein anovim, in footnote 13, shekos v'ashulchan aruch lekamon, shebedi'eved in berach aleim ber pragofen. If bedi'eved you made the ber pragofen on grapes, yotza. Again, which we've seen before. Yotza, kos v'mishnah berurah sham, she'im shasa yayin v'yischav v'niftaris anovim, also yotza. Yeah. But again, you don't do that. You shouldn't have done it, but bedi'eved, if you did it, that's what happens. Okay, Gimel. Now, these are the details of how to make a bracha, in terms of all aspects of brachas in Birchas HaPeiros. Says the Mechaber, Kol elu habrachas tzarich shelo yafsik ben bracha la'achila. So rule number 1 is there shouldn't be a hefsek. So you've got the apple, make the bracha and eat it. Do not delay between making the bracha and eating the food. Says the Ramah, Haga yosem michdei dibur. You can't delay more than teich kedei dibur. V'tzarich la'shmiya la'oznov. Furthermore, the bracha needs to be audible. You need to be able to hear what you're saying. If you didn't, you can't quite hear yourself say the bracha, but the eved so long as your lips are moving, you've articulated it. I.e., as opposed to just thinking it. You can't just think a bracha, and you can't just think davening. And a bracha can be said in any language. You shouldn't make a bracha if you're in a state of undress. Until the erva is covered. That's true for a man where the erva is projected out. But if a woman is in a state of undress and she's sitting on the ground, then her erva is covered if she's sitting on the ground. So we've had that previously in Hilchos Krishma, etc. We'll see the Mishnah more. Even if he's not in a state of undress, for example, he's got like a hospital gown on, or something like that, where he's got nothing underneath that gown, and therefore liboy, his chest, the reis erva, is seeing his erva, or aisha reisha megula, or his head is uncovered, also levarich. A person is not able to make a bracha if either liboy reis erva or his reisha megula, his head is uncovered. Says the Mishnah Berurah. So number 1, you shouldn't make a gap between the bracha and the achila. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yud Aleph, v'hu adin birchas ha-mitzvahs. That's not necessarily only applicable to birchas ha-ne'anin, but also being bracha ha-mitzvah, you shouldn't make a mitzvah. So for example, you're going to shake the lulav, you make the bracha and you shake straight away. You're going to make the bracha t'kir shofar. You shouldn't be doing something else in between. Yosem chdei dibur, more than chdei dibur. And how long is that? Hainu k'dei she'elas talmid l'rav shehu shalom alecha Rabbi. As opposed to the opinions who says there are 4 words, Shalom Alecha Rebbe Umeiri. Now we're talking split seconds. The whole thing is 2 seconds. So you haven't got long. For Yoseh Mehachi Choshev Hefsek. More than that is considered the Hefsek. Or Meiri B'shtika. That is talking about where there's a Hefsek of silence. Avul Dibur. But if there is a Dibur Hefsek, you speak about something else. Afilu Mila Achas. Even 1 word have a Hefsek. Kol Shulelu Secha Bracha. That as long as it's not connected to the bracha, the dibur is considered a hefsek even if it's less than Shalom Aleichem Rebbe. V'hamavur b'simen kuf zayin zayin sif vav ein sham. Oid yesh chiluk ben shtika dibur. There is another difference between shtika and dibur. The dibur hu leikuv v'tzarich lachs v'varich. If a person spoke in between the bracha and the performance of the mitzvah or the eating or the achila, whatever it is, then he's got to go back and make the bracha again. Aval b'shtika, if the delay was in shtika, he was silent for too long, hurak lechatchila, that's only lachatchila. He should have done he made the bracha of Berpro Eitz, and then he delayed silently before eating the apple. That was wrong. Lachatchila, he should have done it straight away. But he does not avol. But the eved afilu shah harba yesim dibur ein tzorich lachsav levarich. But even if he was silent for longer than teichli dibur, he does not have to make the bracha again. Kol shelo hesiach daita b'nem. So long as there wasn't a hesach hadas, he just didn't get on with it. Kosva achronim. Ta'afilu mipnei hakovod v'hayira also lahafsik acha bracha. Even for covered or for Yira, someone important comes in, or Yira is scared that like an officer of the king comes in or something, he should not be mafsik between the bracha and the act. And if he was, he has to make a new bracha. Even for that, you should not make a hefsik. So, for example, you're sitting having a glass of tea or something, and you make a shahakol, and before you're about to drink it, there's a kaddish or something. You should not answer amen. Just get on with the act of drinking. Don't make a hefsek. Lo yivarach al meichel mashka sheukar cham ukar b'yoseh. Don't make a bracha on something which is too hot or too cold, mishum chashash hefsek, because the concern is you look at it and it's steaming away, and you make a bracha and you're not going to want to drink it straight away. Say a person makes a bracha and then you think to yourself, actually this looks a bit disgusting. Just have a little bit of it so that it shouldn't be a bracha l'vatala. If you want to have a bit of a drink of water where some of it has been spilled out, in other words, you've got a cup which is too full. So what should you do? You should spit out some of the water and then make a bracha and drink. Don't make a bracha and then realize it's too full and then spit it out, because that's a hefsek. So the travayo is no. Mishum de hefsek or mishum bizu bracha, because there are two problems there. If you make a bracha and then spill out some, A, you've got a problem of hefsek, and B, you've got a problem of bizu bracha. It's like you made a bracha on this and then you're just not really keen on it and you spill some out. So the best thing is just be ready to drink straight away, be ready to eat straight away when you make the bracha. That's the key. So too, if you want to eat a nut, yishabrena, you should break it open, and then you make the bracha. Why? Because if you're going to break open the nut, especially I remember my bubba used to have this old nutcracker. Do you remember these old you turn it like a walnut, and it was a ganze chef to try and open this nut. It was a lot of work to get to one little nut. But if you start doing that in between, although technically it's not a hefsek, you should ein lahafsik ben a bracha lachila. It could be there's another concern that by the time you get to open it, you'll see that actually it's not actually good, it's gone bad or something, and therefore it's a bit of bracha. So be in a position to eat straight away. Now there's an interesting note in 28. Now in my one, this is in the back on page 43. Yeah, in 43. So actually look at 28 and 29. So 28, very interesting. Hamavarich ala pri. Someone who makes a bracha on a fruit. Kosav hashulchan aruch harav shelo yachtech mimena ad lacha bracha. Don't cut a piece of the fruit until after you've made a bracha. Kadei sheyivarich ala sholem lemitzvah nanucha, because it's better to make a bracha on something which is sholem. Ve'ein lochash lehefsek shiyas hachituch ben habracha lachil. And don't worry about the cutting. That should be a delay. That's just how you eat it. So for example, let's say you have a banana. So you can unpeel the banana, and it's sholem, and then you make a ber pradoma, and then you break it off and eat it. You shouldn't break it off first and then to make the bracha, because there's a mile of sholem when you make the bracha. So be in a position ready to go. So you peeled it and you can see it's good and you're happy to eat it, and you make a ber pradoma, and then you break it off and eat it. Yeah. Now look at 29. What about if you want to cut open a fruit? So you've got a date, for example. Yeah, a few days ago it was Tu B'Shvat, and you got to check for teloim. So you got a date, and you want to open it up just to check that it's clean. Very geschmack. So you've got the date, you opened it up, you inspected it, you're good to go. So then you're about to make a ber, close it again so it looks sholem, and then you can make a bracha, and you've got alamailas. Okay, back to the Mishnah Berurah. Bisfosov. So we said you should make the bracha bisfosov, that you should be able to hear what you're saying, and you should minimally at least articulate it. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yud Gimel. Avalim hirher belibba es habracha. If you just think it, then lo yotzav. V'ayin le'el b'simin kuf pehei sif beis Mishnah Berurah v'simin samach beis b'vei alocha soif diba maskil yotzav. So those are the things we spoke about already. B'chol loshen, you can say a bracha in any language. Ayin le'el kuf pehei sif aleph Mishnah Berurah, and there, if you look at 34, he just says what we said over there, that yes, you can make a bracha in any language. However, he says, "V'sham kosov sheyotzi rakim mevin es haloshen hazub." That's only if you understand it. So if you want to start making a bracha in Latin, yeah, that's not going to help you. Yeah, v'kosov oid shekol zehu mitzat hadin. That's only me'ikad din. Aval mitzvah namuchad tzorich levarich dafka b'lashon hakodesh. Of course, ideally one should make a bracha in lashon hakodesh. But technically, if you are French and you understand French, or you're English and you understand English, then you can make a bracha in that language. Okay, be'ish. Now, so we said also that the Mechaber said, lo yivarich oroim ad sheyichase ervoso. A person cannot be in a state of undress. So be'ish, and that's the dafka be'ish we said. B'mei be'ish. Shagid v'habeitzim boltin v'nirin, because his erva projects outwards. V'lo mahani b'lo kisun. Therefore, he needs some form of covering. However, an isha, if she's yosheves or ponea shalmato, Teichas Bekarka, she's sort of sitting directly on the ground, and therefore the ever is covered up, then that would be okay. Pirush, says the Mishnah Berurah Tesvov, the vukas mechusas bekarka is sort of covered, if you like, by the ground. But tzorich liyos mechusa kolkach shelo near agvosel, that you can't see the agvosel, which is the backside of the lady. Ki agvos yesh bohen mishum erev, because that has got a status of an erev, even though there's machlikas. But that would be a concern, and therefore, if she's sitting flush on the ground, then that would be if everything is covered, then that would be okay for her to make a bracha. He says they do not have a status of erva. That to make sure that she's properly covered. So for a man, he needs to be wearing something that his erva is mechusa. So for example, if he's wearing swimming trunks, and that's all, then that would be okay, because there's no his erva is mechusa. B, there's libo einerosa erva, because he's got swimming trunks on, and if he's got him wearing a couple, that would be okay. So if he wants to have a cold drink by the swimming pool, then if he's wearing swimming trunks, that would be okay. Let's just do Dalit. It's very short. We've got a couple of minutes. Kol dava shemevarich olav la'achlo l'reachbay tzarich la'achza b'yaminay. Anytime you make a bracha, you should hold the item in your right hand. Kashehu mevarich, when he makes the bracha. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yud Zayin, tzarich la'achza. Now, why is that? Tam ha'chizah kadei sheyechaven liboy al mashem mevarich. Because if you are holding it, then that will enhance your concentration, and you'll have better kavanah on what you're making the bracha on. V'hurak lechat tchila. That's only ideally the b'di'evid in berech alav kashay munach v'fonav. If I just make a shahakal on this tea, and it's I'm not holding it, then b'di'evid it works as long as it's in front of me. Afim le'achsu klal yotzo chuda lekame. Interestingly, in 37, which is also at the back, he says omnom. The Indian Birchas Alechem, when it comes to making hamoitzi, shekotz v'shulchan aruch le'el levarich she'ein levarich kodim she'it v'salechem. With bread, you should be holding on to it. Kol Mishnah Berurah Sham, there she'tam hadov mishum she'ein mevarichem al mitzvah zel somach la'asiyos and kshamitz v'biyad la'asiyos v'lo kodim lochen. So, and there are other ideas as well. For example, when we hold the lechem tonight, I think it's Pesach es yodecho maspir lechol. No. And Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Ha'olam Hamoitzi Lechem Min Haaretz. Yeah, there are 10 words, so you hold it with your 10 fingers. And then there are other ideas about holding the bread. But technically speaking, you don't have to hold the thing. If you made a bracha without actually holding the item, it still works. Okay, B'yaminai Hata Mishum Chashivas. Because of chashivas, why dafka the right hand? Because most of us are right-handed, and therefore it's chashav to hold it in the right hand. What about a lefty? So the lefty would hold the apple in his left hand, because that's chashivas for him, and it would enhance his kavanah. And so too with any mitzvah, you should hold it in your right hand, b'shas habracha, v'al derech kabbalah, Ein litchev hapri shemevarich alav b'sakin, af sheyechiz hasakin b'minay. That you shouldn't stab the fruit, with a knife and hold the knife in your hands for Kabbalistic reasons. And so too, when a person says, "Pass me a sefer," yikablenu biyad yaminay. Amazing. Take it with your right hand. As chashivas. In the footnote, it says, "What about a left-handed person?" Because on one hand, the Chaim Kanievsky's got a sefer kuntrus ish iter. It's a very nice sefer where he collects all the halachas for a left-handed person. There are some things he does with the right, some things he does with the left, sometimes it depends. So he says over there, if you look in 39, Shemashmo is Tira Mishnah Berurah, Shesmach din zeh hishatel din bracha shegam kan holchem lefi hayamin shalei. So it seems that if when you take a sefer, pass me the sefer, and I should take it with my right hand. But if I'm a left-handed person, l'chayra, I should take it with my left hand. However, he says it's sarchian because it should be the same as a Kabbalah Sefer Torah, that you take it on your right side, and over there, it's a yad lo yeshana. He should also take it on his right side. So what does the left-handed person, does he treat it like a Sefer Torah, that he takes it on his right side, or does he treat it like a chashivas, and therefore he should take it with his left hand? And Rabbi Chaim concludes, and therefore if the left-handed person receives a sefer from another person, he should also take it with his right hand, because it's like a Sefer Torah, which everyone takes on the right side. Okay.